Hey friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. My name's Tanya, and today I'm going to show you how to make something that you may or may not have ever had homemade, and this is French onion dip. I grew up as a kid thinking, man, if you had French onion dip in a bag of chips, you didn't need anything else. It was just so good. But looking at the label now, and I know what the ingredients are, it's just kind of disheartening, even though it's probably still really good. I hadn't had any in years of store-bought stuff. But this will compete with the best of those store-bought brands. So this is super easy. It doesn't have a lot of ingredients to it. It's pretty quick to whip up. So join me now as we do just that. We're going to make some French onion dip. All right, we're going to start out with our skillet being pretty warm. And we're going to add to it 2 tablespoons of butter. I use unsalted butter for several reasons, but I'll just say I use unsalted butter. If I need salt in it, I can always add salt. I don't need the butter to be salted. To that 2 tablespoons of butter, I have chopped up a large yellow onion. I think I want my burner a little higher. French onion dip is a favorite of mine. I grew up eating it with potato chips, and I probably was about 11 or 12 years old, and somebody gave me Frito corn chips to eat with it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know you could eat these with it. I was kind of a dumb kid, but yeah, corn chips are just as good. And if you go to Trader Joe's and get some corn chips, it's organic ones, I'm telling you, they taste just like Fritos. They're so good, but without the bad stuff. Okay, so we're going to get our onion to cook it in here. I'm also going to add to this, let's see, a teaspoon of salt. Get my salt cellar up here. So there's our teaspoon of salt. Sprinkle it over. We're going to sweat these, which is going to bring out the moisture in those onions. We're going to cook these until they're pretty soft. What you don't want is for onions to still be crunchy or crispy or whatever you want to call it, have that snap to them. You just want them to start getting soft. And once they start getting soft, we can add a couple more of our ingredients, namely our garlic. We're going to put about a clove of minced garlic in here, which to me that just means something about like that, maybe half a teaspoon. We're also going to add 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. And cook about a minute longer. There's enough butter in that skillet to keep it from scorching on the bottom, so you should be okay. Just keep moving it around. All right. Get that evened out in there. We're going to turn our burner off. I'm going to let this cool down. I'm just going to leave it on the burner for just a bit. and let the steam kind of go down. We're going to let this cool off because we're going to start adding things like sour cream and mayonnaise to this, and I don't want that to go into something hot. So we'll let this cool off and we'll come back in just a bit, add our other ingredients to it. All right, now we're back, and our stuff isn't cooled off completely. Our onion mixture, onion, garlic, butter, and Worcestershire sauce. It isn't cooled off completely, but it's cooled off enough where I can add it to the other stuff, and I don't feel like it's just gonna dissolve everything. So what we're gonna do now is, in our mixing bowl, we are going to combine our remaining ingredients, which will be 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, and this is my sunflower mayonnaise that I make. And if you haven't seen the how to make mayonnaise video, I encourage you to look that up. It's super easy, and once you start eating this, I doubt you'll be buying the other stuff. Just letting you know, because it's that good. I don't even walk down the mayonnaise aisle at my supermarket anymore. I used to look just to see if they had anything new that had like better ingredients in it, and they just don't. They just don't. I've kind of given up on the fact of ever finding it at a local store. Unless it's one of our better, like Natural Food Store, Good Measure Market. They'll carry better brands. Okay, so 1/4 cup of mayonnaise in there. And if it weren't for you guys watching this, I would just be eyeballing it, blobbing it in there, because I'm not real smart, but I'm a pretty good guesser at measurements. My friend Joni says I am spatial, and I don't think she means to say special. She means spatial, so just means I can tell how much will fit into an area, which I never knew that about myself, and she's so smart, she figured it out. All right, we're also going to add in here 1 1/4 cup of sour cream. So I'm going to measure it out for y'all. Basically, I'm just going to fill up this 1 cup measure and then heap it up. So that's what 1 1/4 cup is to me. And if I get an overage of sour cream, I'm not even going to be upset, because I really like sour cream too. So 1 1/4 cup of sour cream. Don't use the low-fat sour cream. I would highly suggest that you just go ahead and use a good sour cream without a bunch of fillers and stuff, trying to cover up for the fact that it has fat in it. All right. Get that mixed together. To this, we're going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This is the 4th teaspoon, so I'll do about half of that. So 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. Stir that up to where it's mixed up pretty good. And now we're going to add our onion mixture back to this. That a stir. And to be honest, I really don't know if these onions, the yellow onion, gives it as much flavor as the green onions we're about to add to it. Now, I have green onions growing in my yard. If you are unaware of this, let me share this with you. If you've been doing this all along, just consider yourself in my club, because when I figured this out, I'm like, I am not believing how this works. It doesn't matter if it's a flower pot inside or if it is an area outside, a pot outside, or just in your yard somewhere. If you have good soil and if you have enough sunlight, you can keep growing those green onions. If you'll take the white part off, once you chop the ends of the green onions off, stick that white part down the ground, it just keeps growing. Mine, I have some, I just cut these off, the ones that stay outside all winter long. They get snowed on. They kind of brown, wilt, look like they're going to go away, and they green right back up. I also have some growing in flower pots of really good soil that I have my peppers overwintering in, my sweet peppers. And I stuck those green onions down in there, and I could honestly go out in the sunroom and just cut green onions as much as I want. So don't ever think when you pay almost $2 for a little package of organic green onions that, man, that's $2. That's a lot of money for onions. It's perpetual onions. You're keeping onions growing for as long as you need them. All right, we're going to put this in a 4-cup container to store in the refrigerator. That smells really nice. It smells like fresh onions. It doesn't smell like anything fake or like an onion flavor or even dehydrated onions. This just smells like really good onions. Thanks, Zoe. We know you're down there. They get the flaps when I start making a video, and for some reason they need to shake it off. They have to make their presence known. And of course the clock has to ding again too. All right, guys. We have homemade French onion dip. And it didn't take that long. That's going to be really nice. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this, and we look forward to sharing something with you again soon. And the recipe for this will be in the description of the video, so you can print that off and make some for yourself. See you guys.